Hi, good morning. Here we are again. I hope that you're doing well. We are going to do a basic, we're going to do some makeup, chat a little bit. We're going to use the Alter Ego Harmony palette, and I will show you what she looks like. I, I think it's duping a Natasha Denona palette. I should keep up with this better. I just don't. Do want to just kind of chit chat with you just a little bit. I'm going to prime my eyes with the Natasha Denona eye primer, and I want to talk to you. I had mentioned yesterday about staying out of the tanning bed, wearing sunscreen. I am still not real good at remembering to put it on. So that's something that I'm working on, but I'm telling you, if you're a younger viewer, please remember it, especially if you're outside a lot in the summer like we generally are, because we have the garden and all that neat stuff. And, I told you, if you've seen my community post, we added a side-by-side to the inventory. And I say that jokingly. We have more vehicles than we have drivers, but it is what it is. It was not an intentional thing, but yet it was. I have my two cars. My Avenger has probably maybe 40,000 miles now on it. Maybe I'd have to look and see. My Cadillac may have 3,000 miles on it by now. I'd have to look. Very, very low miles, because they're mine, and I don't drive. I don't drive the Avenger very often, obviously. And the Cadillac it was the old lady, the typical classic old lady car before I got it, and it continues to be. I literally pulled it out of my mother's garage, drove it home, and put it in my garage, and I think it's been out in 2 years, going on 2 years. I think it's been maybe 4 or 5 trips. So there you go. Today, while we get into doing some makeup, something happened yesterday that I'm going to talk to you about, just simply because I don't want it to happen to you. If you've been around the last few weeks, hang on. I'm like Linus with these 2 brushes. I had not brought them back over from where I washed them yesterday, and this is like, I'm gonna have to end up going back and seeing if Unique still has them, because I can't find a brush like that. That's a crease brush. If you have any ideas, drop them below. Anyway, back to what I was saying, because I'm pretty sure that I lost my train of thought. We're gonna see what that looks like. That is Grace, and I don't think I want that for a crease color today. Since maybe anyway, if you've watched my videos since July, yes, since July, I've been dealing with issues with my ears and infection and all that neat stuff, and I ruptured my eardrum and blah, 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 blah. And why something can't be simple with me is beyond me. So I was feeling better yesterday. Every story every time there's a calamity, that's where the story starts, is I was feeling better. Let's see what Glory does. Did we do that already? Yeah, I think we'll start there. I'm liking the names of this palette. Um, we're going to go ahead and start. Need a pinky. That's pretty. That's Will. I might as well have just swatched the palette for you. Okay, let's get back to focusing a little bit. Admire is where we're going to start. I just like that. Anyway, I was doing things and, you know, trying to catch up on things that have been kind of gotten behind during this lengthy sickness. And this is probably not going to be, we may be able to build it up enough. So usually when my husband gets home at 2, well, it's after 2, about 2:15, 2:30 usually. He takes Mayor out. I take Mayor out in the morning. Generally, in the colder weather, it's not been, but generally we are outside for a good hour. And then, you know, he comes in, he has his breakfast, we do a little playing, a little grooming, depending upon what the day looks like. So that hasn't been happening when I was really bad sick. There's a lot of videos that I made that we pushed through a lot of vertigo. Thank you if you watched them. There's a lot of videos. Hang on. Okay, sorry, we had a package on the front porch. I would tell you, but yeah. No, it was another lipstick. Y'all, I have lost my mind over these MAC lipsticks. Anyway, let's get back to this. Pardon. We can go into Grace. Anyway, so yesterday, I was feeling better, so I was up doing things. The first thing that I had to do was needed, but not exactly. And I had to wash my bedding because Mayor decided to get a mouthful of food and get on my bed. So yeah, that happened. Anyway, it's training. I am not, as far as letting him sleep in our big bed, no. He's not really allowed in like the recliners and stuff like that. Kind of a no. The mattress the futon that I have on the floor, yeah. So anyway, so that had to be all cleaned up yesterday, and then I filmed my videos, and I did a couple of other things. I can't remember. But I sat down and I was editing and had started to upload, and I looked at the time and I was like, oh, because during these colder days require more trips outside. Well, I'm gonna go in with Scents. With the same brush. They're very similar shades. Um, so I thought, I will run him outside, and that way, um, when my husband gets home, it won't be such an immediate thing that needs to happen. Now, that being said, we are both creatures of habit. So if we do something every day, we're going to pretty much do it regardless. That's just how that works. Well, um, being a military child, we'll put it that way, um, it really wasn't so much a military child, but it was just, we lived in Alaska when I was little, but we learned early on how to layer when it's cold. So while um, as it got colder, and I'm sentimental. Let me throw that out there because I know some of y'all are going, what is this? What's the... I have, and whenever I say this, please don't anybody get offended, because the backstory is the little community that my dad grew up in, which is where we lived, we lived, and where I plan to retire. Years ago, you didn't just walk down to the end of the driveway or the end of the street or outside and get your mail from a box. For the majority, I was grown. I want to say it was like 2011, before there was a mailbox on that property. Okay? So what that meant was that you went down to, I don't know why I closed the palette, because we're not quite done. We're going to go into Chatty, because, oh, I'm sorry, it's Charity. We're going to go into chorus on my finger. So the reason why that comes into play is because it will back into what the other story. When we first moved down there, my dad was still young. He had retired from the military, and worked at the post office. But most mornings, somebody would have to go get the mail. Every morning, somebody would have to go get the mail. And what would happen, that was the spot. So everybody would gather there waiting for the mail. And while you waited for the mail, that's when you talked to your neighbors. That's when you knew who was sick, who was doing okay, what was going on with whoever. And for years, and it's, just kind of bear with me, because it's just one of them things. For years, some of the older men wore flannel shirts. And my dad always said, he called them Social Security shirts, and he did till the day he died. And he said, when I get old enough to have Social Security, I'm going to get me one of them flannel shirts. Now, guys, understand, people that ride four-wheelers in the mountains and stuff like that in the cold weather wear them too. Understand that it's not a, it was just the humor, okay? So anyway, when my dad became of age to get Social Security, he purchased him Social Security shirts. I have said Social Security shirt. So yesterday, as I'm putting on my layers, I have my hoodie that I got from last year's reunion, not 2024, 2023. That's one of the things that I layer up first is my hoodie because it has a pocket. Well, as I'm putting on the Dad's Social Security shirt, I noticed, I remember seeing Mayor like come up, and then the next thing I knew, he was right here, and I was in the floor. He came up. He doesn't jump up. I mean, he does, but he doesn't jump up intending to cause harm. He was coming up because he noticed that I was passing out, which is what happened. I passed out. My dog did not leave my side. I am proud of him. I did fall. We're dealing with that. I've put calls into the doctor and all that neat stuff. And probably what will happen is 0, because that's pretty much what happens with every time I've fallen. I am, have the infection is back in my ear. There's vertigo. I just think it just dehydration. I just think that because after I fell when I came back around to myself, he was he was kind of nudging me with his nose, and I took my hand and kind of pushed him back and was like, no, Mayor. And then we went outside, which is not what you're supposed to do after you pass out. But over the years, it's something that happens to me. So I just keep doing whatever I'm supposed to do. But anyway, what I wanted to caution you on is you can get dehydrated in the wintertime, just like in the summertime. This usually happens to me during the summer. But during the wintertime, I've been talking about, and it kind of clicked in my brain because I was like, you've been talking about how dry your lips are, how dry your face is. And I, putting extra moisturizer and stuff on, but not hydrating enough. So stay hydrated. Okay? I'll be back. I'm going to put on some eyeliner and some stuff. I'll be back. Okay. So we went in with the Well People mascara. We went in with the Anastasia Clear Brow eyebrow gel. I'm not so sure how I feel about that. I didn't put a pencil or I didn't use anything else on them. Whoa. Oh, that was almost bad news. I've lost it already. Used a L'Oreal Infallible. I can't see the color. And charcoal shimmer under my eyes, and then I went in with Grace, I think is the color shade. Let me look. Glory. I went under my, just took it under my eye just a little bit. Okay. I talked to you about this brand the other day. And that's what I'm putting on my lips because it's a lip balm. And the good news, it's it feels like a mixture of coconut oil, beeswax, and Vaseline. I don't know if that's what's in it or not. I didn't look at the ingredients. But it is creme de la creme. I ain't mad at it. I don't know. The brand is cream. Let me put some glasses on because I can't see. It's Creme Deluxe Cube. I'm sorry. I got this in my ice cream box. Um, and I got an under eye cream, and I like them both pretty well. I don't know the under eye cream I would repurchase. The lip balm, I'm kind of on the fence. What I also went in with, this is one thing that I like, I have to say. The Jones Road balms, today I used, and you can see the color. This is a tawny, and you can see that it's rather dark, but you know, this is what we end up with on the face. One thing that I like them for, in summertime, they were great. Okay. I would always stick to the minis. I don't think that I can, like this shade, looks great on me. Every shade that I've tried so far, from this one to this one, I think this is the Dusty Rose that we used yesterday. They all looked really good. They don't, my hair doesn't get stuck in them or anything neat like that. But anyway, we are going to wrap this up. This is the look today with featuring the Alter Ego Harmony palette, and I don't think that that's picking up really well, but it is the Harmony palette. I'm thinking it's a dupe for the Love palette. Maybe. Help me. I don't know. And I'm not going through all my Natasha Denona palettes to figure it out. Anyway, I like this look. I wanted to tell you too, through everything yesterday, the eye look that I did with the Inslee Rain Light in Your Eyes palette stayed. It stayed exactly how I put it until I took it off. And that's including passing out, playing with the dog. We've had a morning this morning because, unfortunately, somehow, and I didn't even know that. I always thought spring was when baby birds were born. Apparently some of them are born during the winter. We have a nest right outside under my deck, and I don't know that if that was where it was actually at. We have a bird that comes, I don't know if it's the same bird, but we generally have a bird that comes every year, and the babies are there, and then the babies go away. We all just kind of like, hi, you know. I sometimes will leave food out for her, but she generally just kind of like flies off and gets whatever else. Apparently my bird seed and bird food is not good enough. Anyway, so unfortunately, a bird had, from wherever, I don't know if maybe the mama bird dropped it or whatever, but when my daughter left for work, I let Mayor out probably an hour after the fact, and we had a dead baby bird that was frozen solid, and it was so sad. Just breaks my heart. Convincing Mayor that it was not a toy was a task, but we did it, and we cleaned up the baby bird and properly disposed of its little body. And that makes my heart sad. I hate that. It just bothers me. Poor little thing. Which also, people, if you have cats, dogs, whatever, in this cold weather, bring them in. Bring them in. I don't care what their breed is. Bring them in. And your husbands and you know, that stuff too. Bring them in too. Anyway, this is the finished look for today. I'm rambling, so we're going to be done. Have a great day. Remember, I am the mayor's daughter. We'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye. Don't know where that came from. Impulse.